There's little that can withstand a man who can conquer himself. Your mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy, right? So, good quote for this Friday. How about Chainlink? Let's look at Chainlink a little bit differently than we have this week. We'll start on the lower time frames. We're on the 1 hour chart. Now, why would we bother with this in a bear market where we've basically trended sideways for a long time on Chainlink? Well, it's important because patterns can be fractal in nature across other time frames. So if you see something like this playing out on a daily chart or weekly chart, days or years or weeks from now, whatever, this can be helpful, right? You're just trying to be a little bit better than you were yesterday. That's the point of this video. Beat the you of yesterday. Stop trying to compare yourself to other people and beat you from yesterday, right? That'll get you really far in your happiness and, enough. Let's get going. Going up, right? Where we look at this trend, right? We've set this high here with low from all the way back to the good old heyday of New Year's Eve, right here, right? We hit a low here in the chart. And we can zoom out here, right? Our downtrend, right? And this starts a new trend. Why? Well, you start making higher highs and higher lows. That's the start of this trend here, right? And you see a high, higher high, higher high. As long as you're doing that, you're in an uptrend by definition. But you also need to be making higher lows. Low, higher low right there, higher low right there, right? Even higher low right there, even though it was really close, right? This is still, right? If you need to check yourself, sometimes these can be confusing, right? Just put it on a time chart like that or a line chart, and it'll take out all the wicks and all the noise, and you can really start to connect the dots. So you can also do something like this where, you hit these bottoms, right? And they just keep connecting them, right? And then you can see like right in here, right? We were in trouble because we started to reverse and kind of come down here. But what was the saving chart here? Let me end this fiasco and let's get back to our regular chart here. And what saved us is we took out this high again, right? So we continue that trend. Now, what do we notice about this side as of the last, day or two? The trend has reversed on the shorter time frames, right? By definition, right? We have not taken out this high, but we did just take out this low as of just a few hours ago, depending on when you're watching this video, right? Look at these lows, right? That's the low, and we pierced it. We haven't closed below it, right? If you put on your closing, right, your line chart, we're still kind of trying to hold that around the 558 area. So we do not want to close under that. Otherwise, we will confirm this rollover sooner than later, right? And how would we continue this uptrend on the hourly chart? We must take out this kind of 580, 585 level, depending on, if you're going to go from the wicks or the closes here. So that's what to look for in the shorter time frames. And again, like this would be very useful potentially on like a weekly chart or a daily chart, right? Going into the next kind of bull phase or whatever. I mean, you're looking to, potentially spot an exit. Well, this will be a huge warning sign, right? So if you bought in like down here and you're like, well, I'm up, maybe I should, at least take half my profits out, right? Because of this major kind of warning sign. This is a warning, doesn't have to confirm, right? Nothing is certain in crypto but uncertainty. But this is the warning on at least the shorter time frames. So now let's zoom out. How about to the 4 hour, right? See, that's that same kind of pattern, right? And it starts to become a little bit more clear even, right? Cleans it up, right? Instead of all those candles, right? You have 4 times less, right? So now still looking at the same thing, high, higher high, higher high, but you can see that piercing there. The Bollinger Bands are wide open, so a lot of volatility could happen here, right? You're not too constricted, but you got to start leaning bearish because of why? Look at your moving averages. They've crossed when the lower ones cross the bigger ones, right? You need to at least pump the brakes on your bullish thoughts based on the facts in the chart, right? And not only that, but you're underneath all of said moving averages, which is also a bearish sign, right? You're beneath the moving averages from all these time frames, right? So here's your 100 right here. And speaking of that, it's important to look at key rejection spots of your favorite coins. So let's zoom out on Chainlink and see if we've interacted with this blue line before, the 100 EMA. And right you are, right? Look back in here, right? This was mid-December. We hit right off of that 100, and lo and behold, we did it again. So certain coins will act in similar ways based on, you know, certain moving averages resistance. Now, other coins have other moving averages they like to hold or as resistance or support. Chainlink seems to, at least on the 4-hour chart, right? It can change based on your chart, looking at like resistance at the 100. So if we get a rally, that number you can see at the top in the blue there, right up here, it changes, right? That number right now, as of now, right, and going down, slightly down, trying to level off here, 582. So if you see a price rally go up to there, right, it's holding resistance. Not only that, but you got to work at support and resistance zones or levels, right? And this looks like a pretty clear-cut one on the 4-hour chart, right? Support held for, you know, a lot of candles, broken, and now flipped to resistance. That's another, you know, chalk up for the bears, right? Another bear point, tally it up, right? So if we get another rally up here, that is still likely to be resistance. What you'd want to see for this trend to reverse is, like we talked about on the hourly chart, right? Let's zoom it in here. We want to take out this high. We need to flip this resistance zone back to support like we did right here, right? That would be a good sign. Otherwise, you're leaning on the bearish side of the fence, right? Just by definition, not because I say so or your best friend, your favorite YouTuber says so, because of the facts in the chart. So zooming out to the daily chart, right? We're starting to get a better picture here. Look at that zone, right? Maybe you could extend this over. Maybe you could come back down here a little bit, right? Sometimes zones can, you know, morph a little bit on different time frames, and you can see that look how many times we held this support going back to November now on the daily chart, right? Interaction, came back up, bounced, held it, tried to get a rally, you know, too bearish, right? Bitcoin not working out so well, so altcoins are going to falter. And we pushed down below that zone now. So that zone, by definition, has flipped to resistance, and that's on the daily chart as well. And what else do we notice? We're underneath every single moving average. So what does that mean? You're leaning bearish immediately, right? Not based on anyone's opinion, but the chart. So we're trying to learn these charts better so you can be a better trader moving forward to the next bull cycle. You need to be able to spot these a little bit better, and you can really save yourself a ton of grief and money, right? Unless you put it all on exchange like, you know, Celsius or FTX, then you're just screwed either way, right? So that's the daily. We've been focused on kind of the weekly and the monthly and the bigger picture. So I kind of wanted to show you just the shorter time frames, but looking at the daily chart, right, more or less, I know this is kind of a big zone, but we're still kind of in this rectangle, just fizzle phase, right? These kind of, when you draw rectangles around these and, you know, relative small volatility like 550 to 950, right? This is just consolidation. Very difficult to try to trade in here. You want to wait for a break, you know, above $10, which we've talked about many times for Chainlink, or below kind of the 550 area. If one of those breaks first, and we're very close to the 550, much closer than the 10, right? So you want to look for a kind of a rip the band-aid off kind of thing. If Bitcoin tries to melt to 14K or whatever lower, then, you know, most altcoins will follow suit. And we've looked at lower time zones this week for support. I think we're looking at like 350 to 5 area for our first for the weekly and monthly kind of zones. So that is that. Hopefully you learned something. If you did, thumbs up. Follow us on Telegram, free, down below. Twitter, free, down below. Happy to see you there. And, you know, let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see more of, what you don't want to see more of. You know, I do Chainlink videos primarily because I like the damn project. I have a goddamn sign, and you all seem to like that more than any other video that I do. So why would I not do the most popular videos that you like? So if you want to see other videos, I get it. But, you know, I did an XRP video earlier in the week, and I think it got like 50 views. So probably not going to cover XRP anytime again soon. I could make a Chainlink video and just hold up the sign and get 50 views, right? So, okay, we did quarter of the day. Let's get to the card of the day before I forget. How could we forget card of the day on Friday? Who's got it? Anybody got a guess? Right, you got Ferrari. Shut up. What kind? The SF90 Stradale, right? Of course, we got to get the model. That's the coupe, and I might as well get the convertible, right? There you go. So, love the front, right? Looks super aggressive, awesome. The rear needs a little work, in my opinion, because I like it, but what does this remind you of? If you said Corvette, that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of the new Corvette taillights, which I don't like when other cars remind me of lesser cars, right? This is like $1 million car. A Corvette's slightly not $1 million. So I don't, that's my only issue. I love the exhaust, love everything about it. The whole design is flawless except for the dual taillights like that is like kind of Corvette's been signature for a while. Maybe just like one taillight would have been okay, right? I don't know if they, or maybe put 3 in there. Then you start to get the Lambo, right? The Lambo Sion has the 3. I don't know. I'm rambling. But SF90 Stradale for $1 million. I could probably go for a couple others. What do you think? Is this your favorite Ferrari? Your least favorite? Let me know in the comments for the 4 of you that have watched this far. Have a great weekend, and Chainlink out.